Cowboys in a second, but first Kyrie Irving, clean-shaven, dazzling us. Behind-the-back move, woo! Floats it over Blake Griffin.
Without Kyrie, they lose last night. The Pistons run on a late charge. Kyrie was excellent. His first excellent game of the year. Credit to him. See?
Oh, he was sitting back in the rocking chair chilling like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Kyrie was special last night. Looked like he went to like one of those spas where they give you like a facial treatment, gave him a steam, a bath, a hot shave, a haircut.
That sounds good.
Oh, that's a better haircut on him. It's a lot of bad haircuts. I got 2 people working on the staff. Bad haircuts. I mean, they got butchered.
No, not you, Dustin.
They need to put the baby to sleep on this one. Like
Terrence Ferguson throwing the perfect alley-oop to Russ.
All right, what's happening?
Some barber went to sleep on their head.
Dusty out here doing
he cut himself a line way up in the middle where his soft spot is. And
what are the words that he's saying?
Eye Candy, who works the electronic, I don't know what he do. ROTC, G.I. Joe, whatever he do, he got a bad haircut.
You thought the Law and Order thing was off?
You just gotta let him go, man.
This is when they turn Sports Center into BET.
What is happening? Rodney Hood! A Rodney Hood sighting. How about that?
When they start doing the highlights from the hood, it's going to sound like that.
Cavs get their first win, Nick.
Man, this game, you had to know something was up. I looked at the lines last night. Cavs were 5.5-point favorites over an NBA team. They win by 20
Cavs heard you were talking about them, said they was the worst team. They said that was a Nick Wright game.
Okay, they still the worst team.
Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. They're coming off their bye week, preparing for a Monday night showdown with the Tennessee Titans. They'll have their new receiver, Amari Cooper, for whom Dallas gave up what some would call a costly first-round pick. Despite the elephant in the room that is Dak Prescott's upcoming contract, Jerry Jones says Amari Cooper has nothing to do with the evaluation of Dak Prescott's future. See, do you agree with Jerry?
Well,
this guy.
I'm curious to hear this one.
I just, not unless. It's like us doing a show. We get evaluated on a regular basis as a show, chemistry, in and out of bumps, how we're doing things as far as our elements. But ultimately, it's really what they think about me. I mean, I know you guys are here and we're doing a show and everything, but I'm just saying as far as my evaluation. So if they like us,
I knew this something was coming.
It's totally different. But if they like the quarterback, and I believe that Jerry, a lot like the people at Fox, they like him. And they like me. So even if my wide receivers are not number 1 or number 2s, like they decide they're going to go with me anyway because they like it. And I believe Jerry is in love with Dak. Now, I do believe this. It's going to come at a certain price. I believe Jerry's going to say, because my offensive line, what I want to do with Zeke in the future, because of my rush with Lawrence, I got to pay him. I want to have a Dak as my quarterback, but it's going to come at like a hometown discount. So he's going to try to do a Tom Brady without the championships. That's what I believe, Jerry, and the reason why. Collectively, it's not about the talent around him. Jerry's in love with Dak as his quarterback, and that's the way he's going to move forward.
You know that little filter that stands between what you think and what you say?
Oh, no, Chris doesn't have one? Oh,
Chris
you
was
just now
born
learning this?
without
Of
one.
course. All right, let me talk to the actual football side of this, not Chris's awful analogy from the beginning of it. On the football side of it, unlike the analogy at the beginning, you got that right. Jerry's decided on Dak. Like, the reason I was leaning forward to hear what you wanted to say about the Amari Cooper thing was the best argument for overpaying for Amari Cooper, which they did by giving up a first-round pick, especially when you see what other guys at the deadline went for, 3rds and 4ths and 7ths. The best argument was, we got to find out about the quarterback. You're paying a premium because you want to find out if you got the quarterback. Man, Jerry's done decided about the quarterback. Jerry has decided Dak Prescott, he said it. He's proven it to me. I don't need more information about Dak. He's the only person who doesn't need more information about Dak, but he's also the only vote that counts. He's the only there might be a board of directors, but it's 5 people, and Jerry's got 3 of the votes.
So then why give up a first-round pick?
Because he also, not only does he think that he's got his quarterback, because he thinks he's got his quarterback, he thinks they can win the division.
Well, no, let's look at the market, though. All right? Golden Tate went for a 3rd rounder. He's in last year of his contract. Amari can get the 5th-year option, younger player, higher ceiling left. So if you look at Golden Tate went for a 3rd, Philadelphia, we know, offered a 2nd for Amari Cooper.
Right.
So the real price for Amari Cooper was a 2nd rounder.
Yep.
But because you wanted him now, and because someone else wanted him, it just inflated the price just a little bit. But it's not like they paid 2 number ones for Amari Cooper.
It wasn't a drastic overpay.
No, they're not going to give up on this season. So that made the price a little bit higher also.
Exactly right. Like that Jerry, because, again, look at all of this through Jerry's eyes. We now know Jerry thinks he's got his quarterback. He knows he has his running back, right?
Yeah.
They just changed the offensive line coach, so they think their offensive line is going to get better.
Yes.
We all know they've got a good defense. So, okay, so Jerry's saying we're 3-4, but what we are, in his eyes, is not a quarterback away. We're a #1 wide receiver away. We thought it could be Allen Hurns. He's been a bust. We thought Tavon Austin would be different here.
And they tried to get a receiver this offseason with Sammy Watkins. They weren't able to get him. Now that we're into the first part of the season, you realize that what we were trying to do this offseason, it just got completed right now. So we can't act as if Dallas wasn't looking for a #1. They were. They couldn't get the one that they wanted.
We keep saying this, and you kind of gloss it over. Yeah, Jerry Jones thinks he's got his quarterback. But does Jerry Jones have his quarterback? Do we think Dak Prescott is the guy that's going to turn this Dallas franchise around?
No, I do believe that, and it's not based on just the quarterback. They have to have some other things to be able to help them out. But when you don't have a #1 receiver, it's impossible to be able to evaluate your quarterback, regardless of what he says. Now, I do believe if you want to play football a certain way, now, I believe he should be committed to Dak for at least 2 more years because it's still hard. I mean, we act like it's easy to find a quarterback, and I do believe Dak can get better. But right now, I'm not going to commit to him long term. I'm talking about meaning 4 or 5 years.
When you say 2 more years, you mean the rest of this year and next year. Correct?
Yes,
that's what we're talking about. Okay, I didn't know that.
Rookie is rookie.
Exactly. The rest, I'm not saying.
Well, you have a special rookie year. The running back gets suspended the 2nd year. I ain't got no #1 receiver my 3rd year. Right. So, like, would it be fair to Dak?
I am no means am I advocating the Cowboys cut Prescott this off, anything like that. But if you were to tell me right now, I have to make, let's say he were a free agent after this season, I either have to find a new quarterback or give him a franchise quarterback type of contract, then I would move on. The only reason I am totally comfortable if I'm the Cowboys with Dak being my quarterback for the next 24 games is because it's going to cost me $1 million. It's because I am able to surround him theoretically with a lot of talent because he makes so little money. And then, but what I wouldn't do is sign him prematurely. Usually quarterbacks are like coaches in the NBA. They never go into the final year of their deal. I'd let Dak go into the final year of his deal. I'd know I'd be able to franchise him if he plays really well. If he's playing really well throughout the year, I'd maybe sign him midway through next season. But I'm not signing him to an extension this offseason. I don't think you're signing him to an extension this offseason. You need to see more from him. Yep. At least we do. Jerry maybe doesn't. And if I'm Dak's agent, which I'm not, he's not one of my clients, but if I'm Dak's agent, I am absolutely calling Jerry and say, well, hey, man, you got your guy. Let's get to talking numbers.
All right, let's take a break there. Coming up, back to the NBA. Why the best team in the East might actually not be the Boston